Hello, my dear students. This is Dr. A.K. Tyagi, and we are discussing about labor law second paper, and under that head, labor law second paper, we are discussing about the Payment of Wages Act 1936. And under the Payment of Wages Act 1936, today we'll talk about the fixation of wage periods given under section 4 of the Payment of Wages Act 1936, and we'll also talk about the time of payment of wages under section 5. This is video lecture number 13. So, fixation of wage periods given under section 4 of the Act and time of payment of wages given under section 5 of the Act. When we talk about the fixation of the wage periods under section 4 of the Payment of Wages Act, section 4 subsection 1 says that every person responsible for the payment of wages under section 3 shall fix periods in this act referred to as a wage period in respect of which such wage shall be payable. Means when this payment of wages would be made, what would be the the wage period for the payment of the wages. So under subsection 1 of section 4, every person who is responsible for the payment of wages under section 3, that is responsibility for payment of wages. So the person who is responsible for the payment of wages under section 3 shall also fix the periods. We call that wage period in respect of which such wages shall be paid. And subsection 2 says that no wage period shall exceed 1 month. Means in any case, you cannot exceed that 1 month. So no wage period shall exceed 1 month when we talk about the payment of wages. Now we talk about the time of payment of wages, section 5. And the time of payment of wages, section 5 means the wages in any railway, factory or industry or other establishment upon in which less than 1,000 persons are employed, they shall be paid before the expiry of the 7th day after the last day of the respective wage periods as provided in section 5 subsection 1 clause A. So when we talk about the time of payment of wages under section 5, then we find the because my dear students, see, actually now we have the new wage codes, so we need to refer those codes also, but here I'm just covering the points touching the BEAR Act, right? So when we talk about the time of payment of wages, section 5, then the wage of every person employed upon or in clause A, any railway, factory, industry or other establishment upon or in which less than 1,000 persons are employed shall be paid before the expiry of the 7th month. So where in any factory, in any railway or in any other establishment or in any industrial establishment in which less than 1,000 persons are employed, means the wages of every person employed upon shall be paid before the expiry of the 7th day of that month, right? And clause B talks that any other railway or industrial or other establishment or factory shall be paid before the expiry of the 10th day. Before the expiry of the 10th day. Provided that in the case of a person employed on a dock, wharf, jetty or in a mine, the balance of wages found due on completion of the final tonnage account of the ship of or wagons loaded or unloaded, as the case may be, shall be paid before the expiry of the seventh day from the day of such completion. So, in case of railway, factory, or other industrial establishment, be paid before the expiry of the 10th day. But if less than 1,000 employees are employed, then shall be paid before the expiry of the seventh day. Now we talk about the clause subsection 2 of section 5, that where the employment of a person is, terminated by or on behalf of the employer, and the wages earned by him shall be paid before the expiry of the second working day from the day on which his employment is terminated, right? So if there is a person who was in employment and the person has been now terminated, right, then the wages earned by him shall be paid before the expiry of second working day from the day on which his employment is terminated. Provided that where the employment of any person is in an establishment is terminated due to the closure of the establishment or for any reason other than a weekly or other recognized holiday, the wages earned by him shall be paid before the expiry of the second day from the day on which his employment was so terminated. So, where the employment of any person in an establishment is terminated due to the closure of the establishment for any reason other than a weekly or other recognized holiday, then wages earned by him shall be paid before the expiry of the second day from the day on which his employment is so terminated. Let's talk about the subsection 3 of section 5, that the appropriate government may by general or specific order may exempt to such extent and subject to such conditions as may be specified in the order the person responsible to make the payment of wages to the person who was employed upon any railway or person employed as daily rated workers in the public works department of the central government or the state government from the operation of this section in the respect of the wages of any such person or class of such persons. So appropriate government may go for a general or the special order, may exempt to such extent or subject to such conditions. So this is the one power with the appropriate government. And subsection 4 of section 5, save as otherwise provided in subsection 2, all payments of wages shall be made on a working day. So whatever payments are being made, those payments of wages shall be made on a working day. So this is again one important subsection of section 5. And so wages to be paid in current coin or currency notes. This is section 6 of the Payment of Wages Act 1936, that the wages shall be paid in current coin or the currency notes or in both. And the employer may do one thing here, like after obtaining the written authorization of the employed person, pay him the wages either by check or crediting the wages in his bank account. So it is also there. So this is all about the time of payment of wages, section 5, and the fixation of wage periods, section 4. So this is all about these two sections in this deliberation. Thank you so much. I believe this will help you. And then in another lecture, another next class, we'll talk about some another other topic of the Payment of Wages Act. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Bye bye. Just go through this slide. Thank you.